Hi, good morning all. I hope you are in a good condition. And I just came home. I would just walk my son to school and he's now in year 3. So I find walking him to school is a good opportunity actually to talk many stuff with him. And for example, right now he's doing some lessons in mathematics. So what happened is I can ask him or he can ask me something. In the past, I remember he asked me about the lesson that he learned at school. It's about three-dimensional shape. So he actually asked me this: why the cube or the block is a three-dimensional shape? Well, at that time I was quite surprised with this question, and then I tried to answer my best. So I told him, you know, the block or cube, they have length, width, and also the depth. Okay, he just nodded, and a few minutes later he asked me, okay, so how about a cone? A cone, you know, the cone shape, yeah? So why a cone is a three-dimensional shape? Okay, so what happened is I cannot answer with the same answer like before, because obviously if you look at the base of a cone, it's a circle. So I can't answer like, you know, it has a length or width, whatever. But at that time, what came to my mind is, you know, a cone, it has the base and the height. Okay. He said, yeah, I can understand that. And then finally he asked me this, now how about a sphere, a ball, you know, sphere or ball? Why a sphere is a three-dimensional shape? Well, this is actually a bit more challenging to answer, because now I cannot answer that a sphere has length, width, or the depth, or I cannot answer also that the sphere has base and also you know, the depth. So at that time, what I can answer him is that the sphere, it occupies the space. And after I answered that, he just, I think he kind of understand it, but I'm not sure if he knows the meaning of it. Yeah. But it is good, you know, when you try to answer something to your kids, even though sometimes the answer is not precisely correct, but sometimes that will develop his mind to another level. So interestingly enough, now he's doing, you know, number fraction. Yeah, and I remember last time we watched a TV program, you know, it's an educational show basically about number. And I think what I'm trying to say is there are many great opportunity to teach our kids when we, you know, have like a perfect time for it. For example, in that TV show, it tells us about number, and what happened is like this. So basically the number, for example, 12, can be made by the multiplication of 3 times 4 or 4 times 3. I don't want to go into detail the meaning of 3 times 4 and or 4 times 3, okay? Because I think at this stage what he knows is, you know, 3 times 4 and 4 times 3, they give you the same number, which is 12. Or, you know, 12 can also be made from 2 times 6 and also 6 times 2, right? And I told him at that point, hey, you know what? If you look at those numbers, yeah, 2, 6, 3, 4, they are called the factors of 12. So if you talk about what is the factors of 12, now we can answer, 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. So you understand about the meaning of the factors now. Okay. Now, when I ask him, so can you tell me the factors of, let's say, 9? And then he answer, yes, it's 1 and then 9, and then 3, and also 3 itself, of course. So basically 1, 3, and 9. Great. How about 18? Okay, there will be 1, 18, 12, 2, 9, 3, 6. So they are the factors of 18. Okay, now, in mathematics, there is a special number, which we call it prime numbers. And then it's try to, well, is it related to Optimus Prime? The transformer. No, I said it's not related. They are not related, actually. So what happened is in mathematics, we probably use the same name or same letter, but that doesn't mean we have the same thing. Okay. So what is prime number? Because we just learned about factors. Now, I can explain to him what the prime number means. So basically, prime number means the number that has factor 1 and itself. Again, the prime number is a number that has a factor 1 and itself. For example, 2. So if you look at this number, the factor of 2 is only 1 and 2, right? Yes, okay. So that is prime number, the first prime number. Now I continue, the next one will be 3, because the factor of 3 is 1 and 3. Okay. Now how about the next one? How about 4? He said, no, because the factor of 4 is 1, 4, and then 2. So it has, 3 factors, yeah? 1, 4, and 2. So 4 is not a prime number. That's good. And then we try to go a bit further, and he found 5 also a prime number, which has a factor 1 and 5. And then he already recognized 6 is not a prime number. And then he go a bit further, 7. And then next, bigger than 10, he found 11, 13, 17, 19, and bigger than those numbers. So I think when we see something on the television and then there is a good opportunity to teach our kid about something, we'll need to get that perfect moment. And hopefully it gives, new knowledge to our kids also. So of course, they will ask probably, why there's a prime number in mathematics? Why we need to learn about prime numbers? Now, this is something that we can tell. Prime number is very amazing numbers. They are extremely important because basically you can build any number by using prime number. For example, if you build number 4, so 4 is made of 2 plus 2, and they are prime numbers, right? 5, we can make 5 by 2 plus 3. 6, 3 plus 3. 7, 2 plus 2 plus 3. 8, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and so on. So it's amazing. Basically, you can create any number using prime numbers, okay? And then the second motivation that you can probably tell them, You know, if you are living in Sydney, in New South Wales, I think you know the price of the house. It's very, very expensive. So, for example, if you live in this area, probably you can't buy a house like on with 600,000 Australian dollar. I think the price in this location is already around 1 million or above. So if you want to get a house with lower price like 600,000, probably you need to go further area. And sometimes when I teach my students in the class, I told them, hey, one of the way that you can do to buy a house is to solve this mathematics puzzle, which already established like hundreds of years ago. So if you go to the internet, there's a website called CLAY, Mathematics Institute, CLAY, C-L-A-Y. And they have in their website, they're called the Millennium Problems. I think now they have like 8 problems or so. It's 8 problems, yeah? So if you can solve one of them, let me tell you, if you can solve one of these problems, yeah, they will grant you $1 million. So basically, well, if you are doing great in mathematics and you can find something new, of course, hopefully you can solve one of these problems and then you can get 1 million. And let me tell you, one of the problems is actually about prime numbers. It's called the Riemann hypothesis. So until now, it's not yet solved by mathematicians around the world, and it's been like 150 years old problem. So in that question, Riemann hypothesis, there is a hint about prime numbers. And until now, the mathematician actually could not rule out the mathematical rule for prime numbers. That's amazing. I mean, we already know about this stuff like maybe 100 years ago, but then until now, well, there's still some unsolved mathematical problems. And, but again, sometimes it's not about money. I think what happened was I can't remember the year, but there was a Russian mathematician named Grigory Perelman. So he actually solved one of those problems. Yeah? He solved a problem called Poincare conjecture. So, of course, he was awarded by that money, 1 million. But this is something that I was very shocked and surprised because he declined that money. And he just want to say, well, he just want to live peacefully with his mother in an apartment in Russia. So maybe at some point, our goal is not entirely about wealthy or stuff, but sometimes you are finding something more eternal than that. Well, so I guess we all have all of this value in our life, and I really appreciate this value also. But I think, again, my point now in this video is to encourage you to try to find a perfect time, a good opportunity to teach our kid when something happens. Okay, thank you.